Okay, had a bit of a mic issue there, but hello everyone, and welcome back to Thief Gold. Last time we tried to break Cuddy, our fence, out of prison, but he died. But he did leave us with a map to some long-lost treasure. So that's what we're gonna be focusing on in this mission, in the next mission, rather.
I was pissed at Cuddy for a good while after the prison debacle. But hey, you can't blame him for what the Hammers did to him. So I decided to go after that horn Felix talked about. Not like I had a whole lot of choice, really. The rent is due. And my landlord's even tougher than the Hammers. The map's pretty specific about where the entrance is. Too bad it's not as clear about where the horn is. Felix did some scrounging before he left, and his notes say the horn is in the tomb of some nobles. The Quintus family. Guess I'll just have to explore. Felix, always helpful, also said that the catacombs are supposed to be haunted. I think I'll go make some inquiries about where a heretic like me can get some holy water. Always go prepared.
Alright, so yeah, as you might expect, we're going after the Horn of Quintus that Felix was supposed to go for. So on normal difficulty, all we have to do is procure the horn. On hard difficulty, we also have to get 1,000 loot of additional valuables and the gemstone, the Mystic Soul, and of course leave. And on expert, we have to search for the ancient Bonehoard and procure the legendary Horn of Quintus. In addition to garnering the horn, we must also find the fabled gemstone, the Mystic Soul. 2,000 total loot. The Mystic Soul had a sister stone called the Mystic's Heart, also thought to be in the Bonehoard. Find it, make it yours. And once we have what we came for, get back to the surface. So we need to find 2 special gemstones, 2,000 total worth of valuables, and Horn of Quintus. Now, this is one of the few cases where the special loot items that you have to get on expert actually count towards your total loot goal as well. Normally, these special loot items like the Horn of Quintus or the Scepter in the very first mission, they're basically separate items. They don't count towards your total loot, but this is an exception to this rule. Additionally, you might also notice that there is no objective to not kill anyone. That is because there's no human enemies in this map. But I'll get to that once we start. Alright, I'm gonna get some holy water. Because it's, yeah, we're gonna be dealing with a lot of undead, like in the previous mission. And actually, let me get 2 potions. Again, always go prepared. We have 8 drop arrows. Now, this is a new item for us. These arrows are very useful. They basically allow you to make a climbable rope almost anywhere, as long as there is a wood or like a soft surface, basically. Because if you recall from the first episode, arrows will break if they hit a hard surface. That includes rope arrows, but they'll stick to a softer surface like moss, grass, dirt, gravel, wood especially. So you can't use these anywhere, but you can use them in a lot of places to access hidden areas, which is really nice. A really cool mechanic. Again, this game is full of really nice mechanics like that. Goals are yeah, the same, but here's the map. Yeah, this is where we really start to get into maps that are basically almost completely useless. The entrance is obviously very clear, it's right here, but then it's a total mess, like where we're even supposed to go. There's some noble houses here at the Edian Wing, which is probably inaccessible. There's an Alaris extension here, which is also inaccessible. So we're gonna find ourselves in the upper vaults. we need to make ourselves down to the northern votes, where apparently there's some holy water. And yeah, eventually we need, our goal is to get to the House of Echoing Repose. There's a Marat family crypt here with some loot, some Hammerite crypts with some loot, and of course the Quintus family, which is all the way at the back. But we don't really have a whole lot to go off of with this map, and we don't even get any maps as we play the mission, so we really have to just explore. Now, thankfully, this mission is very well designed. So even as a first-time playthrough, it's really not a problem. Like, you won't really get lost here or anything like that. Also, it seems like I have the Thief 2 skies enabled. I swear I thought I disabled these, but I guess not. Because in Vanilla Thief, the sky is literally just pitch black with a few white dots representing stars. These skies look a lot nicer, but they're ripped straight from Thief 2. When you install T-Fix, you have some options for additional stuff like that, but I thought I disabled those when installing it, because I wanted the complete vanilla experience, but I guess some miscellaneous skies won't really ruin the immersion that much. Alright, so as you can see, we have a lot of zombies down here. Now, these zombies are actually not a threat at all, because you can just outrun them. So what I usually tend to do is, in this opening area, because we don't really linger here, there's no loot for us, there's pretty much nothing here, really, for us. I tend to just run past these guys. There's a little chamber over here, though, with a dead guy and a journal. I've had enough. If Felix wants to stay and be killed, that's his business, but the pay is not good enough to keep me down here a minute more. We already lost Dranko to those damned belching burricks, and Marcus didn't make the jump across that huge chasm. He probably drowned if he wasn't dashed to bits. I thought about looking for his body as he was carrying some loot from a poorly guarded tomb, but it wasn't worth the risk. Then we watched Cather get filled with arrows from a clever trap in one of those great octagonal vaults. Not that I cared one whit for Cather, the bastard, but I have no intention of ending up the same way. I don't expect I will see Felix again. He seemed sure that the Horn of Quintus was somewhere north of the vault, but I think that was just a guess. I thought those strange X-shaped marks off that branch of the burning tunnels were worth investigating, but Felix said they were irrelevant. Anyway, if the traps and zombies don't get him, the burricks will. Those tunnels were a nightmare. At least our marks were mostly still intact. I'm almost out, but I need to sleep. I think the place I found is out of the way enough that the zombies won't find me. I guess you were wrong in your assumption, buddy. Is he named? Nope, it just says corpse. Some corpses do actually have names. So this is a very nice bit of foreshadowing as to what we're expected to run into as we go through this level. And I'll say it now, this level is one of the most divisive levels in the Thief community, because it's very clearly inspired by Tomb Raider. The entire level just consists of raiding tombs and fighting zombies, basically. Although, admittedly, you don't really have to fight the zombies, like I'm doing right now. You can just avoid them by just running away from them, which is quicker, or you can even just sneak past them. So you don't necessarily have to fight them, but it's just a lot more efficient to fight them, and they're a lot easier to fight than swordsmen, so... And there's a bit of interesting trivia behind this decision. Pretty much the developers actually went through with this. Oh, here's the holy water, by the way. If we look at our map. Yeah, we're in the upper vaults, the northern vaults, and yeah, this is the holy water that the map is referring to. But yeah, I've actually seen a lot of interviews with the developers, which I will be referencing in my analysis video, but pretty much they were unsure how gamers back then would actually respond to this type of gameplay, because this is something that wasn't really done very much before. Even Metal Gear Solid, which technically came shortly before or at the same time as this, even that game had a lot of action sequences. So the developers weren't really sure how to handle how gamers would handle this type of gameplay loop. So that's why they had, in Thief 1 at least, they had some levels like this where you just raid some tombs and yeah, well, a bit more combat-centric, combat-focused. Thankfully, depending on who you ask at least, the second game barely has any levels like this. It only has like 1 or 2 supernatural levels, which honestly, gameplay-wise is better, because, you know, the combat in this game is clunky by design, and You're supposed to sneak and... Yeah, like, this game really shines with those mansions that you raid. And we are still gonna raid a few more mansions. It's not like the only mansion that we raided was the first one. But... Yeah, it's a mixed bag here. So for gameplay, it is better. Thief 2 is better, but I honestly prefer Thief 1's more supernatural missions or Tomb Raider style missions like these ones. Just for variety's sake, and also I really like the atmosphere. So what I'm fighting right now is called a Burrick. They're these very weird dinosaur-looking things. They have two types of attacks. They have a melee attack, which is ironically broken. Like, they have the animation and everything, but it doesn't do anything. So the strategy to fighting them is to just get up close and whack them a few times with the sword. They're very easy to deal with. Their second attack is... they're called belching burricks. So they just shoot, like, poisonous projectiles at you, poisonous spores. Which are relatively easy to dodge because they move very slowly, but yeah. You do still need to watch out for them. Alright, I think I actually messed up here because I was supposed to enter this area from a different perspective. We missed out on some loot and a note. Because I kept talking about the game, so... I mean, that piece of loot was optional. We're gonna get pretty much enough loot. But here we have some brick tunnels. The bricks actually dug these tunnels. And we do have a little area that we can access here. I believe it was down this way. Yep, there's a Burrick here that we have to fight. So as you can see, he does that little like arm swing animation. That is supposed to be the melee attack, but he doesn't do any damage to us. I don't know if that's intentional. I think it might just be bugged, but... or maybe it is intentional, because if it wasn't, if it was a bug, I presume that Thief Goat would have fixed it. Here we have another body with some more storytelling. Let's see. It appears I was wrong about the mystic's heart, and I will die for my mistake. The ancient tablet I found said that the heart would be in a room of statues whose gaze is death. But though there are statues here, it's clear to me now that this is not that place. I dare not go back down. The Burricks prowl below in numbers, angered at my intrusion. Unless they leave, I will starve in this godforsaken place. That is so ironic. A room with statues whose gaze is death. So this is clearly not that room, and yet it is, because... These statues' gaze is death, at least for this guy, for this fellow. Of course, we are Garrett, we're the protagonists, so this won't stop us, but... Yeah, I really like how this mission is designed. Like, it's relatively linear until you get to the actual tombs. Well, even then it's not linear at all, actually, because, again, I missed out on an entire area here. But... yeah, like... It's not as easy to get lost in here as it was in the previous mission, at least in my opinion. Although I do believe the Thief Goat does change the layout quite a bit to help with that. I'm pretty sure in the original game, there's an easy and miss silver nugget there. I'm sure in the original game it's actually a lot harder to traverse this mission. And there are some other changes made to this mission with the Gold Edition as well, which I'll cover once we get there. So you gotta be careful in this area because this is a very open space and there's a crap ton of Burricks around here. Yeah, we were supposed to drop down from up there. Can I actually go back the way I came? I think I should be able to, because I want to actually... Yeah, I should be able to, because I want to actually go to that area that I was supposed to go to. But I got distracted. Can I actually... Oh God, this is... The physics are very glitchy. Sometimes you just get stuck on items in geometry. It's really annoying. Well, actually, hold on. Is this right? Oh, I think I remember. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm supposed to go down this way, I think. Once I come over here. I'm supposed to go this way? No, it's down here. Aha, yes. You're supposed to go down this tunnel and you enter a completely different area. Yeah, right here. There's a very steep drop, but thankfully there's water at the bottom, so you're gonna be just fine. Yeah, and right here, this little alcove. And here we have a room with some traps. You can clearly tell where the traps are. So you can either dodge them or you can just crouch and step on the pressure plates and the arrows will fire, but they won't hit you as long as you're crouching. And here we have another dead guy from the expedition. With some loot as well. And a note. Let's see what this one says. I've decided to take the plunge. If my records are correct, there should be a stash of fire crystals in the lowest oubliette, which was sealed for centuries, but has since been opened up by the Burks. I'll need the crystals for the torches if I'm going to get the Mystic Soul. So this is a bit of a hint that we need some fire arrows for the Mystic Soul, so we need to hold on to these. Of course, Thief Gold doesn't make this a problem, but again, I'll explain what I mean by that when I get there. And now there's another tunnel over here which will lead us back to that same central chamber. So this is a very easy area to skip if you go straight to the chamber. In fact, in my very first playthrough of this game back in 2019, I did completely gloss over this area. So this game does have a lot of replayability as well because of all these different areas that you can easily miss or just different ways of traversing the missions and doing the missions. There's a reason why I've replayed this game about 7 times by now. Maybe even close to a dozen. I actually lost track. Still, my most replayed game is Half-Life, though. The original Half-Life. Okay, we can just ignore these bricks, as long as you grab onto this rope. And if you're fast enough, you can just completely avoid them. You don't have to kill them or engage with them in any way. Okay, so right here we have a couple of choices. The intended route is to just follow the reverse arrows, so go that way. But there is, I'm gonna pop a quick save here because there is something down here for us. I'm not gonna take this route because it's the unintended way and it's also harder. But I just want to show you that there's a note down here. There's a readable. Right down here. Felix doesn't care, but we've definitely found signs that Adolfo has been here before us. I don't know if he found that fabulous gemstone he always said was here, but if it's still here, it's worth more than that lousy horn of quintuplets or whatever the hell the thing is called. If I'm reading the signs right, Adolfo was convinced something useful was deep down below the brick tunnels. So the room we were just at had Adolfo's corpse. Apparently this guy was some other master thief before our time. And he quite clearly perished. So what a noob, am I right? But yeah, down here... yeah, I mean, there isn't really much for us down here. And if we try to climb back up the way we came, we actually can't. We have to go a different route and through some more bricks, which is really annoying. I'll very quickly show you, but then I'll go the intended way. And this is another area that I completely missed in my first playthrough. So in subsequent playthroughs, I actually used this route a lot more. But yeah, you can see some bricks over there, and in fact, he spotted me. And this area right here, if you go through these tunnels, it will lead you also inside the Bonehoard. But instead, I will take the intended route because there is a bit of a speech here that Garrett gives. We have 34 water arrows, plenty, and a lot of holy water, so I'm gonna start using this.
Tombs with piped-in music. How classy.
Alright, and here we have a shitload of zombies just roaming around. So what I like to do is I like to use a few flasks of holy water here and just run around and kill everyone. Because we're gonna be doing a lot of exploring in this area. It has a lot of loot, so it's nice to get rid of all of the threats before we do so. Here's another one. I believe there's a total of 6 or 7 zombies roaming around and an additional 4 or 5 that are just dormant, which you can also kill, like this guy, for example.
Felix? You don't look so good.
Yep, that is Felix. Let's read his journal. I'm so close. I hears the sound of the horn echoing all around. That coward Sutter, he left me an hour ago after Cater blundered into a trap, but you can bet I'll be finding the prize on my own. So Sutter is actually the guy at the very beginning that we saw. There is a bit of a issue here with, I mean, I guess it's just a different guy sharing the same name, but Sutter is actually a character we'll meet in a later mission, which was added in Thief Gold. It seems that I'm not the first grave robber to muck about in these halls. The infamous Adolfo was down here, probably after one of the richer but heavily warded treasures. It looks like he failed, the poor bugger. This part of the tombs is filled with traps, and there's no way I'm plundering some of these crypts. But the horn's gotta be mine, I know it. If the rumors are true, the sound of the horn should be keeping any local bricks happy and peaceful-like, with no thoughts of bothering old Felix. My only trouble now be my dwindling supply of holy water. I thought there would be a font in this area, but I'm blasted if I can find it. And the dead seem to be getting restless about something. There is in fact a font of holy water, but it's on the second level. It's at the Hammerite Crypts. But for now, we're just gonna use our holy water flasks. Here's, I believe these should be the last two patrolling zombies. Actually, I hear one more. Yep, there we go. Two more! Wow, I underestimated the amount of zombies that this mission has. So this is the part of the mission that everybody seems to hate. All the zombies. And yeah, like, sure, I am taking care of them right now. Taking them down, but you don't have to do this. You can just run past them. They're not a threat at all. Unless you get trapped by one of them in, like, these tight corridors from both sides, then you're pretty much gonna be fine if you just dodge them. But as I said, I like to kill them all, just to make it a bit easier on me when traversing. Now, here is an addition that Thief Gold adds, which wasn't there in the original. There's these golden bones that you can find all across these crypts. And if you find all of them, you basically unlock a sort of a secret. Not really a secret area, you just get a bunch of extra goodies. Not even loot. I will explain it once we get there, but for now, I'm going to use some more holy water to get rid of these guys. Pick up this golden bone, pick up this piece of loot. Here, one more zombie. There he is. This should be the last guy. At least on this floor. There's a lot more zombies where that came from. Over here you have a trap. Do not enter this room. Or rather, do not linger at the entrance of this room. Okay, let me clear the rubble, because there is loot, very well hidden loot, right over here. Okay, and now, I'm not gonna go there yet. There is some more loot to be had. We need to go make our way back to that one chamber that had an opening. It was around here somewhere. I saw it. I nearly went. I think it's this one. This octagonal, I think. Yeah, this is an octagon. Yeah, so there is a trap in the middle, very obvious, but if you step on that, it will fire some arrows. You gotta jump over it or go around. And there's a piece of loot up there. There's some water down there, and that is a different area. I'm actually gonna go down there right now, but not from here. If we go back to this area, so there is a silver nugget in case you missed it in one of those alcoves. I don't remember which one. I think it's the right one. But we can actually come down here to this flooded section. There is no loot here, but there are some water arrows, and we actually need some water arrows because we only have 4. So it's a useful area for that. And I'll actually show you where you emerge from. Oh yeah, there's also a golden bone here. I'll show you also where you emerge from if you take the alternate route, the one with the barracks that I showed earlier. Here's the water arrows, and up here there is a hole. It's inaccessible to us, we can't really climb up there, but yeah, that's where you emerge from should you take that alternate route that I showed, the one with the barracks. But you do miss out on Garrett saying, tombs with piped-in music, how classy. I really like those one-liners from Garrett. It really makes his personality shine. He's very, I would say, cynical. He's one of my all-time favorite video game protagonists, honestly. I just love him. He's like a... sort of like Robin Hood, except he's an accidental hero. Alright, yeah, I think now we should be ready to head up to the second floor of this place. I think we got all the loot down here, and even if we didn't, it doesn't matter if we miss one or two things. I would like to get all the loot in every mission, but I'm not gonna actively go for it. Okay, so up here, I'm not gonna waste my holy water on this one guy. You can just run past him. Oh, right, this area. I almost forgot. There is some loot down here. As you can see, there is a golden goblet up on that coffin, so let's grab that real quick. And if you listen closely, you can actually hear the music, and that is the horn. The horn is making those sounds. So the closer you get to the horn, the louder the music will be, which is a very cool mechanic. Again, this game is just flexing the way it handles sounds by this point. And I mean, good on the game, you know, it's a very well-made game with amazing audio, as I already stated previously. Right, so over here is the Murad family crypt. We need to use a rope arrow here. And there is some loot here. It's not a lot of loot, you can easily skip this over, it's just one goblet. But again, the more loot you get, the easier the next mission will be, because you'll be able to use more money. You have more money at your disposal to get more supplies, basically. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Thankfully, I have some food, which does heal you a little bit, but I guess I never demonstrated the health potion. That's how it works. It doesn't heal you immediately, it heals you over time. Okay, this way we actually have the Hammerite crypts, which also have a lot of loot for us. Yeah, right here. So each one of these coffins has a goblet. And if you step, you can clearly tell that these are traps. But if you step on any of these tiles here where the hammer is, it will start raining down fire arrows from above, I think. So be careful there. And down here is actually the new area that was added. Well, I don't know if this was added in Thief Gold, but this coffin here was, and those are the last bone fragments. So once you throw all 5 bone fragments in here, you get some extra loot. Some fire arrows, water arrows, holy water, and more fire arrows. Very nice secret there. Now I'm gonna get this holy water because I'm gonna need it shortly. Because the next area has some undead. And again, pro tip, use the whole jump glitch. And here's another difference that was added in Thief Gold. This guy is called a fire shadow, and this guy is basically you cannot kill him, and every time you hit him with water arrows, even just with your sword, I believe, once he's on low enough health, he will drop a fire arrow and flee. And he will return eventually, so we're gonna be quick here. But this was added in order to prevent people from getting soft locked. Because in the original game, this guy doesn't exist, and if you end up wasting all of your fire arrows, you will actually get soft locked. So yeah, that's a nice addition there. Also, you might have noticed that those doors opened and they released the zombies, so we gotta be quick there. And obviously this is quite clearly trapped, so we need to jump over that, and I failed. And here is the Mystic Soul. And in case you didn't hear it, yeah, this actually does count towards the loot right there. So we have 1,250 so far, and we needed 2,000, so we still have a lot more to go, but the Mystic's Heart is actually worth 1,000 as well, if I recall correctly, and this one is worth 500. Okay, I'm gonna get ready for a fight here, because the fire shadow is back, the fire guy. Normally I just run past these guys, but what the hell? I don't want this holy water to go to waste. But yeah, normally you can just run out of here as quickly as possible, and these guys will just forget about you. They won't like chase you across the entire tomb or anything like that. And I keep missing. Whatever. I guess I'll let that guy live. I only have one water arrow left. So that's that area. And that's how you get the Mystic's Soul. Next up is the Mystic's Heart, which I think is up there. Yes, it should be up there, if I recall correctly. So let's head up there. Yeah, don't linger, because otherwise that guy will wake up. There we go. Yeah, this is definitely where the Mystic's Heart is. Okay, here's a random Burk here, just chilling. I guess he's guarding the tomb. Now, this guy you can actually sneak past. If you douse those 2 torches, you can take one of these branching pathways. But I always kill him because he's alone and an easy target. But if you're ghosting, this is possible. Or doing a pacifist run. Okay, so here we have a room with a bunch of firing projectiles. The path I usually take is this one. That's the safest route, but you can take the other routes as well. And here is that room that that note mentioned earlier. He upon whom the gaze of the Guardians falls, he shall be destroyed. So, notice these arrows. If you walk in front of the arrows, you will instantly die. So I honestly don't know the solution here because I always use the mantling mechanic, right? Like so. In Old Dark, you cannot do this. So that's a bit of a bug that you can use to your advantage. And here, we have something like a boss fight. Now these guys are called haunts, and normally they have a lot more health than this. There is actually a way to sneak past these guys, but it's honestly harder than just fighting them, so... And that was the Mystic's Heart. And we also got enough loot already. I guess this is more than... Oh yeah, it is 1,000. For some reason I thought I needed to get 2,500 loot. Oh well. And yeah, that is a very weird thing. Like, this is the only mission that has that weird teleportation thing. Now, I honestly don't know if these areas are accessible if you play on normal or hard, because I never played on those difficulties. I always played on expert from my very first playthrough. Because I saw the extra objectives and I was like, that's cool, I want to try that. Because normally, the first time I play games, I usually play on easy or normal. And then if I replay them, I play on hard. But yeah, I don't know if those areas are even available to you. And if they are, maybe there's nothing in them, or maybe... Actually, no, maybe that's why these gems probably exist on the lower difficulties, and that's why they give you loot instead. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so over here we have some more loot. And then we're gonna go get the horn, and that'll be it for the mission. It's a very relatively short mission. I would say this is shorter than the previous one. Okay, over here we have a pit. This is where we use another rope arrow. I think this is actually the first rope arrow that we used. Oh no, the second one. We used one to access the Morat tomb. But you have to use a rope arrow here.
My face, thief, or you'll be sorry.
And so clearly his eyes are diamonds and we want those. And that's how you get those diamonds. And let me climb on out of here. Can I get my arrow back? Nice. Nope. Oh, that's whatever. We have 7 more. And I don't think we're gonna need any more rope arrows. Now, this way is towards the exit. So, we don't want to go there yet. Because we still need to get the horn. And I'm pretty sure we got all the loot, actually. 2,450 sounds familiar. I think that's all the loot. But I think it's this way to the horn. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, okay. So right here we have these turret things that shoot magic arrows. Very easy to avoid. And this way is towards the Quintus tomb. As you can see, these are some more Burrick tunnels. And here's a very interesting mechanic that we will never get to see again. These Burricks are actually passive until you pick up the horn. After you pick up the horn, they're gonna be aggressive. Very, just like that note said. Yeah, so here's the Quintus tomb. I don't know why it's so disconnected. But yeah.
Good thing I'm not afraid of heights.
Alright. Now, this area is kind of annoying for first time playthrough because there are ladders on these walls that are very, very difficult to spot. So my first playthrough was actually very confused as to what I was supposed to do here. This is a ladder. Very easy to miss. And this is another ladder. Again, very easy to miss because of the texture of the wall. Crap. This one is always annoying. We go for here.
The Horn of Quintus, I presume.
And there we go, we got it. So now all we have to do is escape. Let me see if I can do... Nope, normally you cannot do that, which is really annoying because you would think that, oh, I could just land down there, but no, the physics are so janky that you just slip off the edge and die. So you have to take the ladder. I don't know if it's if that's just a new dark thing or what, but yeah. And we also, I think, yeah, we got a speed potion. So normally what I do to escape these Burricks is I just use the speed potion and run past them. Again, don't forget that if you jump, you gain an extra boost. So you don't really have to fight any of those guys. You can just escape like that. Even if you don't have a speed potion, you can just run past them, especially if you use the jump trick. And if we look at our objectives, everything is done, so we just need to escape. And if you recall, the way to escape is back this way, near where that talking statue was. Yeah, right this way. Apologize if I rushed this a little bit, but I started the stream a lot later than I should have, so trying to improvise here. Yep, and right here you have a way to exit. It's another crypt. Very old crypt. And there we go. A very quick mission, very easy, and in my opinion at least, very fun. I think this mission honestly gets a bad rap. Even my first time playing it, I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. Definitely a lot more than the previous one. Although the previous one I have grown fond of in recent times. But yeah, here we go. We found the Horn of Quintus, we stole the gemstones, the Mystic's Soul and Mystic's Heart. We robbed the dead by getting 2,000 total loot. In fact, I'm pretty sure we got all of it. And once we got what we came for, we got back to the surface. Let me save. Here's our stats. 28 minutes, 35 seconds. Yep, we did get all the loot. We did one backstab, apparently. 75 damage. Blah, blah, blah. 4 enemies killed. So, here's what's interesting. The 4 enemies we killed were all Burricks. For some reason, zombies don't count towards your kill count. I don't know why, but yeah. Very weird. Maybe because technically you don't kill them, they just explode. I don't know. And yeah, campaign totals 1 hour, 44 minutes, 41 seconds, 5,542 loot. Very nice. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this mission. Next time we're gonna play one of my all-time favorite missions, actually. So stay tuned for that. That one's gonna be very fun. But until then, thank you all very much for watching and have a good one. Bye-bye.